right, this is the striker build you all requested from the poll on the community tab. It finished in the top 3, so here it is, my new heavy hitting striker build updated for Gauntlet Season 2. Let's get in and take a look at the build. For the weapons, we're using Fractured Realities. This is the Thrax striker weapons. We're going to be using Catalyst ×2 for the cell slots. We're going to be using Titan's Crash for the special. For the mod, we're going to be using the Cyclone Strike Plates. This gives you a longer duration on Tempest form and some extra part damage. For the bond, we're going to be using Striker's Scorn. This is going to give us some Assassin's Frenzy as well as a stacking damage bonus. For the Omnicell, you've got a lot of choices on this one depending on the playstyle you want. If you want a nice tanky playstyle, go with Iceborne. If you want to get more damage out of this build, either go with Revenant or Discipline depending on which playstyle you prefer. If you're using Iceborne, I would go with the Pangar Shrine with a reuse cell in it. If you decide to use Discipline or Revenant, get that extra survivability, I would put the Skarn Lantern here, still using the reuse cell. This will give you some added survivability, especially with Revenant. For the helmet, we're using Dark Watch, which is going to give us +3 cunning, and we're going to put a +3 reduce cell in there. This is going to slow us down a little bit, but it's going to give us some extra damage, and we're counterbalancing that with some of the other perks in this build. For the chest, we're going with Time Weaver's Robes. This gives us +3 overpower, and we're putting a +3 Berserker in this to give us another stacking damage buff. For the gloves, we've got Time Weaver's Gauntlets. This gives us +3 overpower, and we're going to put a +3 pulse cell in there to help us get that +6 pulse. For the boots, we're going with Chrono Treads. This is going to give us +3 pulse, and we're going to put a +3 cunning cell in this to get our cunning and our pulse both to +6. So for the tonic loadout, I've been going with an assault tonic. This is going to give you a lot more control over the behemoth. You've already got great stagger damage, so increasing that even further is going to give you a lot more control. Frenzy tonic for some added damage, and the Ether Drive tonic mostly for the survivability if you go with Revenant or Discipline, but also for extra damage with the Pangar Shrine and some more control over the behemoth with the chill effect from Pangar Shrine. For our first perk, we've got +6 Catalyst. This gives us 60% tonic effectiveness and duration. If you want to change this out because you don't want to be sucking down tonics all the time, you can go with +6 Etheric Attunement. If you're running with either the Discipline or the Revenant Omnicell, that will give you more uptime on the Skarn's Lantern for the added survivability. If you are running Iceborne, I would switch this out for Cascade for all the buffs that Cascade gives you. It's a little bit more effective since you already have a lot of survivability, and having more uptime on the Pangar Shrine is not going to do you much good. Our second perk is +6 Cunning. This is going to give us 10% critical strike chance and 30% critical strike damage. Next up, we have +6 Overpower. This is going to give us 40% damage versus staggered behemoths, and this build is going to really focus on getting those behemoths staggered repeatedly. Next up, we have +6 Pulse. Every 5th hit of your weapon is a critical strike and extra 15% critical strike damage. Then we've got +3 Assassin's Frenzy. Every time a part breaks, you're going to get a 15% attack speed buff for 20 seconds. +3 Berserker. At a cost of 150 health, you're going to gain a stacking 2% damage buff for 3 seconds. It stacks up to 10 times. This is going to really add to the damage you're already getting from the stacking bonus from the weapon bond. Then we have a +3 Reduce cell. This is going to give us an increase of 20% damage at a cost of 15% attack speed, but we're going to be counterbalancing that with the Assassin's Frenzy as well as the Striker's attack speed buff. Then our last perk is +3 Reuse. Every time a part breaks, you're going to have a 30% chance to grant everybody 20% attack speed. If that fails, you're going to get 10% attack speed. Both of these last for 30 seconds. Despite that this build has a lot of attack speed bonuses, you're not going to be really going any faster than normal most of the time. Sometimes you'll go a little faster, but most of the time you're going to be about the average striker speed. And this is because of the use of the Reduce cell. If you really do want to go fast, though, you could easily switch out one of the tonics for a Blitz tonic. That's kind of up to you. If you're playing with somebody that's already running Reuse +6, that's not really something I would recommend doing. You might be getting a little too close to that attack speed limit. One alternative you can do to this build if you don't want to run Reuse because you have somebody running +6 Reuse in your group already, you can take the Reuse out of the lantern, throw the Catalyst in there, and take one of the Catalyst out of the weapon and put a +3 Recycle in there. If you do this, which I think is a good option for group play, what I would do is start every combo off with combo 2. That's going to stack up your recycle nice and fast. And if you can stay consistent on that one part, should give you a pretty nice damage bonus because of that. The strategy I would recommend with this build is open up with combo 2 to get your damage buffs stacked up, pop the attack speed buff, then redo a combo 2, lead into combo 3, and get your damage over time effect off on the behemoth. After that, combo 2 into combo 3, into combo 1, and do your Titan's Crash, rinse, and repeat. You should probably be able to get 2 or 3 Titan's Crashes off before you need to redo the damage over time buff. After you redo the damage over time buff, reapply your attack speed bonus again. If you can stay targeted on the head of the behemoth, that is best with this build. You won't be getting a lot of the part break bonuses from Assassin's Frenzy that way, but if you rotate onto another part to get the break and then rotate back onto the head for your Titan's Crash, you should get some pretty consistent damage and pretty consistent uptime on the reuse and the Assassin's Frenzy to keep your attack speed up with this build. This build is pretty well optimized for escalations and Gauntlet group runs. With Gauntlet, I would recommend making the change between Catalyst and reuse, as long as you have somebody be able to provide the +6 reuse to your party for Gauntlet. So I hope you guys enjoy this build. If you guys get a chance to try it out, let me know in the comment section down below and let me know your thoughts on the build, or if there's any way to improve this build or any changes you would personally make to this build. And once again, our guild is still recruiting. We're planning on being active in Gauntlet Season 3. Hopefully we'll be able to push a little higher up the leaderboards than we did in Season 1 and Season 2. Although we did pretty good in Season 2, there's a lot more guilds competing this season, I will say that. If you guys found anything useful in this video, I would appreciate it if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be having more build guides coming out in the near future. If you guys are interested in Wild Hearts content, I will be live streaming Wild Hearts today and tomorrow, hoping to get some guides out for that game here pretty soon. And if you guys are new to Dauntless, I will leave a video right here for you guys to check out that has some tips and tricks to getting your cells to +3 as quickly as possible. And I will see you guys in the next video.